Birdman, we're live. How you doing, Birdman? Hey, I'm talking about today how I got blessed by Big Al Vang. All right, so I guess I'll tell the story from the beginning. I went over to Al Vang's in Atwater, Modesto, California, somewhere around there. And I was basically gonna just go bird out with him, whatnot. And while we were showing him, he was showing me his birds and showing me his setup and how he had things together and how he'd been working on things for a while and whatnot. And we had known each other from years before when I lived up in Modesto, and he showed me around the bird scene from the very beginning. I rode around him in the car to bird shows at Joe Keezer's house and all kinds of people's houses. So while I'm up there, we're talking about different types of birds, English, South African, all these different Irish and all kinds of birds, but just talking about birds. And one thing that if I had to say something you gotta take from this whole thing is knowing how that you're getting blessed by these birds sometimes. It's like, when he gave me the bird, I didn't realize I was being blessed. And that's one thing I think as birdmen we're starting to overlook. This is how I see a birdman. If a birdman comes up to you and you're talking about birds, you're talking about all these other birds, and they come up to you and they say, hey, take these two and breed them and keep them together. Heed the word, Birdman. Heed the words. When they pass them to you like that, they just hand you two diamonds. We just don't know it. I sat on this family for about 5.5 years. And one thing that I did learn in that whole time and that I didn't pay attention to was he said he had been working on it for 15 years and I wasn't listening. And it's funny, sometimes we get ourselves into not even paying attention to what this other birdman is passing you on jewels and stuff like that. So everybody knows I fly big flocks, 100 birds plus all the time. And all these birds are all over the sky, and it's harder to figure out which bird is which and pick out the best birds, because you should technically be flying smaller kits so you can figure out who's doing who and what's doing what, and have good paperwork and stuff like that. I was just being backyard boogie, you know, and having backyard boogie and having flying for fun is fun. But sometimes if somebody hands you a jewel or a diamond, I think we need to know that this professional type person is helping you step yourself up to the next level. You didn't have to wait so long and cut through so many other breeders and flyers and all that stuff like that. So if somebody bless you with a bird, make sure we pay attention to that.
Can you tell us how you got started with these? The first two you, what you get started with, what you get blessed with, and where you at now?
So I had a fly last year. This is how I basically discovered the bird, that they were here and I had them. I knew I had them, and every once in a while I have a good one come out, but I didn't understand the significance. I didn't understand the quality of the bird. I didn't understand the quality of the bird and what I had sometimes. So these particular breeders that I got from Big Al Vang, number 86 and number 21, I had bred a few of the birds, and you can see some, they were scattered out and they were in different kits. All these birds are in different kits and they're scattered out everywhere. So they were never together. So these two birds, they're in my holdover box. I call it the hot box. This is why I put the birds that kind of showed me some stuff, and they probably put some breeders, but I wasn't paying attention. So last year, Keith London came over and judged the birds. And he said, hey, what's that bird up there? That's a pretty good looking check up there. And he left it like that. And that was pretty much it. So when the bird came down after Keith London drove off and the judge drove off, it came down, I checked who it was, checked the license plates, as we say, the band number, and it comes back to these two. So I said, okay, That's good. That's good to know. I fly a lot of birds. Let me go ahead and pull that bird in. I put in the breeding box. It's down there at the end. I put that one in the breeding box. That's the one that Keith London picked out right there. So this year, just a couple of weeks ago, Patrick Tate is judging, and he comes over and he picks out a bird. I had one bird come all the way down, which is this bird right here. It flew itself out. And then the one Patrick Tate picked out is this one right here. He picked out that one, and they come off obviously 86 and 21. And I wasn't paying attention. I had two judges, regardless if I threw a big zero, tell me that those are good quality birds. They picked out my diamonds when I wasn't even mining diamonds. I wasn't even looking for diamonds. I'm just throwing dirt up in the sky and enjoying what it gives me.
So what do you have here?
That's one of the original before I got those bands. This is their first baby. That's number 303. I pulled this bird out of the original kit that Pat was gonna judge, but the Royal Rumble fly came so late, this bird, it went into its moat. So I had to pull it out. And now it's almost going, it looks like it's trying to go in its moat again. I pulled all those feathers, it done grew all the feathers back again. That is their first baby right there, one of their first ones right there before I got my Black Irish bands. That's why I call them Black Irish. And that's another one. That's another one that's one of their babies too. I had my only Black Ops bands. That was one of the first black ones. And that's a really great one too. And of course, that's the one Patrick picked out, and the one before that, the year before that, was the one Keith picked out, and these are some of the other ones that are scattered throughout the family. Most of the time they throw silky black, and every once in a while they'll throw this recessive red, like their mom, recessive red with like one or two white tail feathers only. And these are pretty much the last two youngins I just pulled just after I found out they're throwing good stuff. I've just collected all these guys together this week. So right now I'm at the top part of collecting the best bird, figuring out who these best birds are, and actually now we come to really building a family. I have to get away from my backyard boogie, possibly. That's always fun. But knowing that that I had those two type of guys tell me a little something, and then when the birds were flying, I didn't even notice until it was actually flying around. He talked about the birds. When I put it up, it went around for maybe 30 seconds to a minute and started doing some quality spins. And he said, that's a nice bird. And then a little bit later, about 30 seconds later, that's a nice bird. That's a good quality spin. Oh, look at that bird again. It just went again. So I think sometimes we can let somebody else pick out our family for us. We can let somebody else almost help us find that family, because obviously I was overlooking it. So right now, you know, obviously this is the main family. Everyone in here is off of them. Every single baby, every single bird in here is off of them only. Trying to make a real family, as you know, a lot of birdmen talk about, and we talk about the dream of, imagine if you had a kit of them, you know. So I'm trying to do that. It's kind of hard sometimes, but at the same time, it clears my mind. It gives me a breath of fresh air when I know that this is 86 and 21's baby, and they're looking just like them. We already know exactly what it is. We know exactly what it is. And now, they're starting to throw done. Look at that.
That's an Andalusian.
Is that Andalusian? That's done. Starting to throw a couple of those. Here's another one right here. So sometimes, obviously, going to the dilute stage, huh? That'd be considered the dilute stage. Here's another one up here. Obviously, they look exactly the same. Jet black. And outside, there's a couple outside. You can see them out there. Jet black. All up there, every single one of them off of them. So trying not to disappoint my forefathers in the Birdman that gave me some good birds. Big Al Vang, much love. All the Easy R Birdmen up there. Thank you for working on that family, whatnot. Yeah, so that definitely helps with that. This is some of my original family right here. This is Jesse Cutero 950, Jack Myers, those guys up in that region, at Tosser, a lot of. One way we know that we bless is like I was talking about before, when someone gives you a bird, you know, when I first got into birds, that I got really welcomed really well by a lot of the Easy R club members. In the very beginning, I was birding out and hanging out with those guys, and they were showing me things and just overall listening to the knowledge that they were talking about. You know, I didn't understand a lot of the stuff, but over time, a lot of stuff hit me later on. They, when you go by some of the Mongs, the Easy R club members, they would give you a gift of a Budweiser 12 pack box. And they're trying to give it to you, like, here, take this. And you're like, what do I want that for? I don't even drink beer. No, take the box. And you take the box and you open it up, and they bless you with the best pair you think you're ever gonna get, and it probably is. And, you know, and the president, I remember Biani and some of the other guys saying, hey, give them that and give them this. And then you possibly go over another guy's house and they give you that and give you this, and then realize later on that all those birds are related. They gave you a nice knit family, nice tight family, something that you can actually compete with and actually do something with. And along the way, sometimes we get lost in the sauce and overlook those birds. You know, I've done that. But of course, I've been having fun with it. I've been backyard boogieing. I've been doing it all. You know, but for the most part, I still have my originals. My originals are in here, and the original birds that they gave me, this is exactly what they look like, and this is their offsprings. And now I've got myself to the point where I don't let any other birds pretty much get in here. You know, I take the best of the best and put them in there. Sometimes I might be taking them out too early. Hopefully I'm not taking them out too early to know what their full accomplishments and achievements could be. Considering I don't have the magic eye per se, because I still have judges and other people and friends saying, hey, that's a nice bird. When I hear that, or they want to buy the bird, I pull the bird. So this is some other stuff. I have some creams. I just kind of, like I said, hobbies and backyard boogie, you know. I have some extreme creams that's down there that roll over 150, 200 feet, and sometimes they get excessive and they crash. I'm still having fun with it, you know, having fun with the birds. And some guys like that extreme stuff, so knowing that I actually have a hot engine or an extreme engine is a good thing. So this is some the breeders I have for the cream family I'm making. I plan on giving those creams back. I plan on giving the originals back to the original owners. And what's that?
Ready to fly some pigeons?
Fly some pigeons. It's like I got them all broken up, but hey.
What you got there?
Red checks. Basically my 950 family, Jesse Cutero. There's some youngsters in here. This guy's hot as fish grease. Up, babies, up. Whoa! He almost bumped. That one I was talking about. Birdman. Those not enough birds. That's not enough birds, Birdman. I can't take it no more. Birdman, that's not enough birds. I'm sorry, Birdman, I couldn't help myself. Let's have some fun, Birdman. Backyard boogie in effect, huh? Still throwing them up, Birdman. A lot of youngins. Look all. Still throwing them up. Sun's about to be out. High desert run out quick. You don't get your fly in before 10 o'clock. The sun's gonna be right overhead. It's gonna be 100 degrees by 10:30, 11 o'clock, especially in the summer for sure. Black Irish. Woo! Let's get some fly in now. Birdman. The other question is when birdmen are throwing birds up, which ones should they be throwing up? The ones that don't take up, or the ones that take up too far? Or the ones that roll down? That's my question. Just when I think I know everything about birds, I don't know shit.
Hutch, man. There's a lot of birds up here, man. I probably couldn't even add up to one of those packs up there if I let out all 5 kits.
at my house.
Birdman. Man, how you get them birds to breed like that, man? I mean, it's you got a lot of birds, and it's like every round, it's a lot of birds. You don't get no single eggs. You get all doubles, huh?
Yeah.
How you do that? How you go about making them breed the way you make them breed?
Prenatal pills.
Huh?
Prenatal pills. Wifey's prenatal pills right out the cabinet.
Wow.
You know, I used to do it with dogs. If I don't ride the right feed and I don't have it right, then I know them prenatal pills will have them right for sure. So yeah, that's how my numbers build up. Prenatal pills every once in a while. I'll drop a men's multivitamins in the waters. And once I clear those waters out, even if it's 2 or 3 days, that's gonna be plenty for them for that whole month and a half, 2 months. So the babies always come out nice and full and healthy with no problems. Prenatal, man, prenatal. God damn, that was fast. Damn, that was fast. And I fed them down Roberto. They filled with freaking corn right now. That's freaking crazy how fast that was. And that's another one off the family. Another bird just bumped into it. And that's the thing. Sometimes we missing birds ain't watching the right bird all the time, man. They getting low now. Now my 950 family, they get, and then of course them right there on the other side. Oh, sorry.
Birdman hutch, man. There's a lot of birds up here, man. I probably couldn't even add up to one of those packs up there if I let out all 5 kids.